Hey everyone, welcome to Broken Shifter Podcast. We had a new track last week, and yeah, that was boring as hell and then fun as hell. I'm Hurdon.
I'm Carbon.
I'm Caboose.
I'm Amp.
You don't think you're Amp this time?
Nah.
He knows it.
All right.
I know it.
Checked his
He
underwear.
knows it this week.
He has shit to say this week, guys.
Putting
Watch
his
out.
foot down. Yeah. All right, so Caboose, hit us with the stage winners.
Larson, Blaney, and Blaney again.
Yeah, we'll get
Had
to
to think
more
about that
on
one, huh?
whole Blaney thing.
It was
No, I was trying to
interesting
get
Yeah,
the suspension up.
Suspension, huh?
The suspension.
The suspension.
The suspension or the suspense? I don't know which one he was going for. So we'll just kind of go over. I mean, there were spins and flat tires and stuff like that throughout the race, but it really didn't create a problem during a race. So we get late race, and Keselowski's been in the lead. He's on older tires and stuff like that. Larson's up there with him, and oh wait, hold on. Brad spins and hits Truex earlier in the race, correct? That's what you put in there, Justin?
Yeah, that was
Carbon?
I
Yeah.
don't remember what
Okay.
stage that was
Two,
on,
I
but
think.
yeah,
So-
that was stage 2 area, maybe. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Yeah. Okay. I was misreading a little bit there, but so I don't recall seeing that part. I was probably in the bathroom or something like that, or making food. I don't know. So if anybody knows what happened there and if it was a big deal, I doubt it was because they were both up towards the front anyway. So
No, they just lost their talent like everyone else did in the front of, last turn? Last two turns.
right. Yeah. Yeah.
What's talent?
Exactly.
Okay, and then we had Stenhouse destroyed his car again. You know, I was a Ricky Stenhouse fan after he learned how to drive finally in the Nationwide series when it was nationwide, and he almost destroys as much as his ex-girlfriend did.
Yeah.
Damn.
And I don't think there's going to be
A little
any
rough
argument
there, but yeah.
I mean, you're
yeah,
not
a
wrong.
little brutal. I'm sorry, Danica fans, but if you can crash 3 or 4 cars in
No,
one Daytona weekend,
wait,
you're
she
doing
has
something
fans?
wrong.
More, too many of them. But more like, sorry, Ricky Spinhouse fans for fucking insulting him like that. Fucking hell.
That's all right. She'll inherit half of Aaron Rodgers' salary every year now.
What, are they getting married?
They're dating.
She gonna have that,
Oh, I knew that.
I was gonna say she was at a Packers game.
Yeah, they're together now.
Recently.
They're a thing. She's retiring from racing to go watch Aaron play football.
Woo.
So,
I get to watch a bunch of men in tights just watch their asses all day. This is what Danica's thinking.
yeah. So, we got
turned into the deflated football cast or podcast.
And then we had the big incident near the end of the race. I can't remember how many laps there were left. There was enough on the clock to where there was going to be a decent restart.
On the clock?
And, yep, on
you
the
really
clock.
are talking about football, huh?
Apparently.
So, yes, to make sure you hold on to them timeouts. Anyways, so we get a restart.
Flag
Brad's
on the
leader.
field. Personal violation.
Larson's on the inside.
Red flag.
Got Kyle Busch, Menard, William Byron, all running up near the front, and everybody goes into the turn, and they showed the in-car camera, and pretty much everybody just went straight.
People
It was
forgot
the
what the fuck they
oddest
were
thing
doing.
I've seen. And every driver
Forgot
said
what
the
Charlotte
same
they're
thing.
at.
Yeah, they forgot. They were like, oh shit, we got to turn here. But they were all turning left, and they all just went kind of straight. Some of them managed to turn a little bit, but they still all hit each other or hit the wall, which created a crash on the inside from the people trying to avoid it. And it was just, everyone said the same thing.
The
We
radio acting
either
for
all
that
were
was
idiots
perfect.
and overdrove it. Yeah, they all said the same thing. We overdrove it and we're idiots, or there was something on the track. Opinions.
I think it was
I think
Burrito's spotter said, "You think for a champion he'd know when to break."
Fucking
Good
There's
shit.
two champions up there.
Fucking a
Kyle
lot of
Busch
them.
was up there too.
Kyle Busch did the same thing, yeah.
Yeah, a pile of
Did
them.
Harvick
I can
manage to
understand
get
Byron.
involved, or
that
did he
time.
get involved too? I don't remember.
Who?
Havoc.
Nah, he was a non-contender all day.
Yeah, he was hovering back around 10th and 11th a lot. Then again, not known for his
personally-
restrictor plate racing.
Yeah, I personally think that what happened was basically
Restrict plate
everybody
racing?
just went, oh, look, Brad's going, and Brad just kind of went stupid on it. Everybody's like, ah, better follow Brad, he's the leader. And they followed him.
Well, Larson was on the
Larson
inside.
tried
He just
to make a pass on the outside. Or to get that outside line going a little bit better. But I don't know. It was
It was a.
the
clusterfuck.
weirdest, probably the weirdest thing I've seen probably since, what, Indy last year?
all season this year by far.
Because the Indy
True.
restart was kind of crazy too last year.
Mm-hmm.
With like McDowell and all them checking up, and
Yeah, yeah. It was.
it's just strange.
That
I don't.
wreck
Especially
was
when
the
you got two
equivalent-
former champions.
Yeah. That wreck
ahead,
was the
please.
equivalent of any Forza 7 lobby.
Yeah. You're behind somebody and you just follow them,
Sorry, guys.
and you can't do that.
Yeah,
in
that
the
pretty
Roval.
much fits with all our league restarts.
Yeah, that too.
Caution, caution,
It just-
caution.
Oh my god. It was that, and then you had all the cars that wrecked on the inside lane on that one. And all right, so a note to the people who watch this, which is pretty much just us. We write up
We get,
a
like,
thing
one
on
viewer.
Google Drive.
Hi,
Yeah,
one
we
viewer.
get maybe one or two. Yeah, hello, but
If you made it this far,
so
Run.
Carbon writes up a list for us, and we modify it and stuff like that. And I'm reading it, and it says another incident on the other end with Hemrick and more. Insert more people who wrecked.
yeah, I couldn't figure it out. I went and watched replay on it, and there was just so much cluster going on that you couldn't tell.
Are you talking about at the
Yeah,
finish?
it
So
was.
I gave up trying. I gave up.
Blaney.
no, that
caught
big,
a little
that big
bit of
wreck
that.
that happened.
I know
There
Blaney was like the
so
only
there was
significant.
Kozlowski, Byron, Larson, and all them that went to the outside, and
Yeah.
then somebody got cut across the middle, and
Just a mess.
it caused a wreck right there.
Yeah, go.
Are you talking about
I
on
don't
the
know. I'm
podcast, or are you talking about on the
No,
race?
no, I'm trying to do it quietly so for someone else to fucking lead because I've been leading the convoy the whole damn time here on
Oh,
this
okay.
in-game
It's hard to
footage.
focus. It's really hard to focus on driving and talking at the
Okay.
same time. So.
So, we get into the second most exciting part of the race, where Jimmy Johnson's chasing down Truex. Truex is taking it easy. You know, people been saving fuel, and stuff like that. Like, Brad probably wasn't going to win this race because
Hey,
he
we
was a
look like
little
Jimmy
short.
Johnson just now.
Oh boy. Speaking of Jimmy, so he's chasing Truex and slides through the chicane, and everybody was like, "I can't believe he just wrecked it." He locked the brakes up,
Yep, the rear brakes.
and he locked the
He
brakes
wheel-hopped
up,
the
wheel-hopped
shit out of
the
that
shit
thing,
out
and,
of-
yep.
yeah, and went sliding through the
just-
grass. And Truex was taking the turn perfect, was going to win the race, and apparently that grass is very slick. And
It ain't
Jimmy
even
slid right
grass.
into Truex.
That shit's
And-
painted on.
So that had some repercussions that we can get to in a minute. But we'll say first that Truex was not happy after the race.
Oh no.
Okay, so I can understand why Truex spun Jimmy out after the race. Would y'all have retaliated the same way?
Oh, of course.
More than likely,
Probably.
right?
I
That
would
was a
say
dumb
yes,
move.
I would have, but at the same time, it was a stupid thing to do because somebody pointed out on the Reddit thread thing. What if he was taking his seatbelt off at the time? What if he was getting ready to take his helmet off or something, and, like while he was kind of like cruising like there, which most people do.
Yeah.
You know, dangerous that could have been. That could have easily
it
done
was
some
hot.
damage to Jimmy.
Well, the good thing is his
Yeah,
spotter did
yeah.
see it coming, so he did tell him to basically
So I'm-
brace for impact.
Yeah.
And
But
he didn't.
I'm
Or he
really
could've
surprised
sped up or
NASCAR
something.
Didn't do something about that.
He the thing is, he didn't just absolutely drill him like what Kyle Busch did in the Truck Series a few years back. So
He spun him around though. He hit him pretty hard.
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
It
don't
would've
get
been
me
enough
wrong.
to- he
A
was
25 mile
going
an hour impact will do some
Probably
damage.
30 or 40 miles an hour faster than 20 miles. Yeah. So I mean,
But the thing
I don't
is,
know,
he
I'm
didn't pull
really
the Kyle Busch at
surprised
like
NASCAR
140
did
miles
not
an
do
hour.
anything. I cannot
Yeah.
believe that they didn't do anything about it. No penalty, nothing. Because, I mean, if that would have fucking happened, even if you fucking tap somebody, a player on the head in football, it's like fucking penalty
Yeah,
right
15
there.
yards.
So
15
all you do
yards.
is like do a little
And-
tiny slap, not even a hard slap, just
Yeah.
a little tap on the head, and it's
And,
immediately fucking penalty.
You stare at the
Impossible
quarterback and
ejection.
get a
I'm really surprised.
roughing the passer.
Welcome to
Yeah.
the Deflated Balls podcast.
Yeah. So, here's the weird thing about that whole situation. Jimmy was running second. He had run Truex down, and he was driving the wheels off the car, and we were like, oh, this is Jimmy Johnson of old. And he's one of 3 7-time champions, along with Earnhardt and Petty.
Why you gotta be
And
so petty?
he wants the win so damn bad that he knocks himself out of the chase by wrecking.
Yep.
Playoffs, but yeah.
Yep. Playoffs. Good thing we aren't
Well,
actually
I mean,
sponsored by
they call it the
NASCAR
chase.
because
It's
Hurdon
the
would have
same
gotten
thing.
us fucking fired.
No, he knocks himself out of the contention for it. He's not in the
No,
playoffs
not-
anymore.
I'm referring to
he
that.
what? Okay, what?
I was
Huh?
referring into calling the playoffs a chase. Like, if we were officially sponsored by NASCAR, your ass would have been fired or the show would have been shut down. But as many times as you called it the chase.
Was it not the chase anymore? Did
No,
they
it's
rename it? And I
playoffs.
missed that.
Yeah, they renamed it last year.
When the hell did that
What the
happen?
hell? Last year.
It's still a fucking
when
chase. I
Monster
don't
took
give a shit.
over.
I don't give a shit. We don't make money
has
off
not
this
been
channel.
the
Kiss
chase.
my ass. Kiss my ass. We don't make any money. It's hard. I still call sometimes I call it the Winston Cup Series once in a while or something like that.
I mean, I call the Xfinity Series the Busch Series. So,
Nationwide. Bush Series, yeah, exactly. You get
Good
raised on
times.
something.
Stop being old.
Fuck no.
No, I'm getting older.
You're being a bunch
All
of
right.
old farts.
So I'm gonna leave this one to Amp to go ahead and talk about because he's a big Jeffrey Earnhardt
I was waiting
fan.
for it.
So what happens to Jeffrey?
So coming to the finish, he got taken out by the 8. And then after the race, I guess a lot of people were claiming that the 8 took him out. Like, I thought the exact same thing. I guess he said that he didn't take him out intentionally. And the whole reason that he didn't get going right away was from the spin, it turned the engine backwards and fucked up the fuel, or the oil pump. Taking all the oil that was out of it and putting it back into the reservoir. So they had to hard reset the
Yeah.
car, and that's how Larson was able to pass
Larson.
him. It's one of those L's.
Yeah, I think there's supposed to be I thought there was supposed to be a system in place that keeps the car from doing that because that's a common issue. When the car freaking spins around backwards, the engine is going backwards. The whole and it's supposed to cut the oil off and everything like that, and cut the engine, turn it off so it doesn't do any damage like that.
And that's why
Surprised,
you had to do a full reset.
Yeah. So it was
One other thing to note was that
Probably
Jimmy
the fucking
actually
most
took his
insane
penalty, and that's why for cutting the chicane. He took his penalty, and
Yeah.
that's why he didn't make the chase.
Well, his spotter
Well,
said too.
not
Like
no one
both in Radioactive, they had the spotter audio up there, and the spotter was like, "You need to come to a stop. Come to a stop. Come to a stop." Kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah. And speaking of that whole event that happened right there, Larson managed to make his way into the next round of the playoffs by hitting the wall repeatedly.
A 3-way tiebreaker.
He used the wall like an Xbox gamer would with a broken car. Just drove it around the wall.
Hey, it works. It works. He was still maintaining speed.
He made it.
It was the last lap. They also said that the rules with it were you get 3 laps to try and get your car back up to speed again.
He had
Yeah.
There was only 3 laps in the race left, so
Yep.
he finished. He crossed the line. Everything was fine.
It's equivalent of that
points.
your shit-faced friend trying to get back home from the bar at 3 a.m.
Just use the guardrails.
Any wall or
So,
anything they can hold on to.
I'm gonna say, and I'm not. I know some of y'all are Larson fans. I don't hate him. He's not my favorite, but he's a hell of a driver. He burns the tires off a car quicker than anybody. But being able to hit the wall that many times that hard and maintain your composure to go through the chicane perfectly, and hit the wall again, and manage to take it across the finish line was extremely impressive. It was almost as good as when Dale Sr. got spun by Bill Elliott, went through the grass, known as a pass in the grass. It was not a pass. He just maintained his lead. It was just an impressive, yeah, there, flub, impressive feat for him to be able to hit the wall that many times.
Just in this podcast?
It was an impressive feat. I was very impressed with Kyle Larson and how he maintained composure.
Drove the
and
hell out of that car.
He's probably sore.
Literally drove it to hell and back.
I mean, I've never seen anybody pull something like that off. Just drive it around the wall. I mean, it was pinned to the wall. I don't know how he got it through the chicane. It was crazy.
Hey, you know
Mad
what's also
props to
funny?
Kyle Larson.
Everybody said that they, or a lot of people have said that they kind of miss having the torn up cars. You know, where every single car is just the body basically, and that's it. Or
We
not
got
even
it
the
this
body
week.
missing and shit like that. Yeah, guess what? That's back.
Yeah.
Sure as fuck ain't legal, but it worked for 3 laps.
And so our eliminated drivers, Hamlin, Jones, Austin Dillon, and Mr. 7-time Jimmy Johnson is not going to be 8-time this year. So,
2 JGRs down, 1 to go.
Yep, that's right. Just got to get rid of that Bush boy.
Yep.
So, was there a surprise out of the people that were eliminated?
No. Not really. Well, I guess Jimmy,
Yeah,
like,
if anything,
just
it'd be
for the
really
sake
Jimmy.
of what happened.
He would have been 18
could
points
have
into
just
the
held
good
his
had he
line.
not done that.
Yeah, he could have. I don't even think he'd be able to below the cut line, would he? Right now.
Nah.
I think he was going to be in like
Probably
11th
not.
or 10th place.
Yeah.
So. Yeah.
Yeah, it was,
I guess it would've been
that
below cut line.
by far was he just drove it in too hard. He's getting old. He had a brain fart. I don't know.
And he did
I think he just
tweeted
got
that the
desperate
only
getting
thing he
one.
would have changed is add more brake bias to the front.
I
Okay,
think he just got
so
desperate for the win. He wanted the win. He hasn't done
I
it
was
in a
kind
while.
of surprised. Denny Hamlin's usually okay at road courses. I'm surprised he struggled as much as he did. And Denny struggled all weekend.
Oh, he fucking tore
Denny
his car
struggled the
the
last
fuck
like
up.
5-6 weeks now.
Yeah.
He
Yeah,
has had nothing but problems for the last few weeks.
I don't know what he's smoking, but I don't want any of it. So, how would you, on a scale of 1 to 10, this is something I'm throwing in there, how on a scale of 1 to 10 would you rate the first race at the ROVAL for the Cup Series?
I'd say about a 7. But I don't see it being as good next year as it was this year.
Learn the track a little bit, yeah. Anybody else?
I give it an 8.
I'd say an A. Yeah.
I mean, there wasn't
Hurdon
Okay.
Amp. Go ahead.
there wasn't it wasn't a constant battle for the lead, but there was enough of hard racing throughout the entire pack that it kept everything
A
interesting.
lot of people you're not used to up front.
Yep. D Burrito finished
Yeah,
fucking 13th.
that was nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say. Is there was a lot of good racing, pretty much all around.
Hard
I mean,
racing too.
yeah, hard racing. It was a new track, so it was really fun and interesting to see how people attempted to handle it. And I don't know.
McD
Overall,
got fucking dumped.
Oh,
I mean,
yeah.
there could have been more incidents and stuff like that early on, but and personally, I'm kind of thinking maybe the stages shouldn't be at road courses. I don't think it does anything to make them any better, and I think it's actually making them a little worse.
It bottles them up near the end.
Yeah, but it doesn't do it like they're not really fighting for it though as much on the road courses because they can't, and it brings a weird pit strategy into the mix.
The ROVAL doesn't. The ROVAL just doesn't have a lot of places to pass. Granted, most road courses don't.
Actually, there were a lot of passes. I was surprised by how much passing there was.
Yes, so was I.
Actually going really well. I think once people figure it out after a couple of years, like they figure out the proper line to take and what is exactly the fastest, there'll probably be less passing. Like Caboose said, next year's probably not going to be quite as good, but I don't know. Who knows? We'll see. Maybe we'll get some rain next year.
A notable entry.
They have rain tires.
A little curveball in the mix. Yeah, they've never been able to use them though.
A notable entry into this whole thing that happened was somebody knew they couldn't make one of the chicanes at the beginning of the race and just went straight down the
straight down. Huh?
I unplugged my mic there.
And he unplugged his mic.
Yep.
His Xbox mic, not his.
Yeah, a little oopsie in there. But yeah, somebody went. I think it was a 15 car, just straight on through. Like I can't make that turn. And of course they had to serve the penalty.
And now we're banned from YouTube for singing the song.
You're allowed 7 seconds of music, and that wasn't even music.
Apparently, they can't even fucking sing on the Receipts podcast or any live thing because their asses are.
Well, they're paid.
I don't get that shit.
We don't make any money.
People be greedy.
Yeah, we don't make any money. It's a non-profit organization, and here at the Broken Shifter podcast,
we're the Broken Pocket podcast. Also,
I'm gonna leave the next part of this whole podcast up to one Carbon because these whole new rules packages for next year is kind of fucking confusing.
They confuse Hurdon's brain.
They do, and I'm pretty sure they confuse everyone's brain.
Yeah, I think I have a basic understanding. They're really vague rules, and they're not. They're all over the place, the way they kind of organized it on their website. So I'll try and hopefully make it a little easier. We'll see, I guess. Okay, so next year we'll start out with Daytona 500. That's going to be traditional restrictor plate. Nothing's changed about it. Everything's good. Everything after that is going to be drastically changed for the most part. So they are reducing the power that the engine can pull out or put out from 750 to 550 horsepower.
But they're pulling the restrictor plate off.
Yeah, there's no restrictor plates though because instead they're doing smaller. What the hell were they called?
Taper spacers.
Spacers, tapered spacers. Yeah, and then they're also using a different style of aero duct. Yeah. That's going to hopefully bring some tighter racing, faster racing, and it's supposed to kind of ease supposed to make the cars a little bit easier to drive for most people. So I think the lower teams, tier teams, are going to be able to drive their cars a little bit better. They're not going to have to do as much wind tunnel testing and things like that. That is only going to be on most tracks that are longer than a mile. Now there are some exceptions. Atlanta, Darlington, or both Atlanta, Darlington, Homestead. No, sorry, there's only one Atlanta track, and 2 Pocono tracks. Those are the only ones that are not going to have the spacers. Or, hold on, let me read that again. They will have the spacers, but they will not have the aero duct. Shut up. And then the road courses and short tracks will not have the spacers or the aero ducts. But now the restrictor plates on at Talladega and Daytona are going to also be gone, except for the 500, like I said. But they will have the smaller spacers and the aero duct changes.
Can I get a diagram for this shit?
Supposedly this is going to make better racing on the plate tracks as well. Like it's going to make it similar to what it is now, but instead of having power as the way to pass, it's going to be the aero changes. I'm not sure how it's going to work exactly. I haven't actually seen the visuals on it, but so it's supposed to hopefully create better racing in the future rather than just relying on pure power, which a lot of teams were kind of varying on their power from anywhere from 700 to 750 depending on the tunes. And then they also want to reduce power because they want to entice more manufacturers to come to the sport. And at the 900 horsepower engine range, they were like, nobody wanted to join. Nobody wanted those 900 horsepower V8s. Too expensive. So in the future, I think they want to switch it over to where everything's going to be under 600 area. But we'll see what the Gen 7 car does. But
what do you think about it in simple terms? When these cars get tore up, a 900 horsepower motor is going to cost a lot more than a 500 horsepower motor or 550.
Yeah.
You're talking thousands and thousands of dollars difference.
The weird thing is, it's not changing right now. So they're still running the 900 horsepower motors. They're just running them with restricted power. So it's really not changing anything right now. It's just supposed to be a future potential change. But they also said with the Gen 7, they're going to, or they're reimagining everything. And they want to go back up to the higher horsepower, apparently, like back to the 700, 800 range. So it's like, I don't understand their logic on it. I'm not quite sure what the point in this is right now. But I guess we'll find out. Oh, yeah, and then the other thing is the All-Star races are going to be 450 horsepower with bigger aero packages. The ones we saw this year.
So basically what he just explained is a bunch of crap that's going to confuse the crap out of you just like it did me.
Yep.
And we don't
on top of all
have
this,
a damn clue what's going to happen.
On top of all of this, the spoilers are now going to be 8 inches tall and 61 inches wide, and they're going to have a wider radiator pan.
Okay. So, Caboose, what's your opinion on this?
Lots of changes.
I feel like we would get better racing had we not have the engine restrictions for this current package. I'm going to hold most of my speculation. But I do feel like on the most part it's not going to be great. I hope it is, but I'm not going to get myself too invested in everything. I'm just going to wait and see. But I don't feel like it's going to be good racing. That's just a general statement.
What do you think?
Honestly, I have high hopes. I'm hoping that we get some better racing than what we've had, and the big three doesn't become a thing again, because that's a little fucking ridiculous.
That'd be nice.
I'm hoping that there's going to be more competitive cars, so we don't just have just Joe Gibbs or Stuart Haas or Hendrick. We have these smaller teams also making a push into the sport. Maybe not this exact package, but, maybe we're starting to finally make strides towards it.
Basically, teams with money.
Exactly.
You'd like to see driving skill play a factor. Yeah.
Because all these younger drivers are trying to get a better ride, and there is no seats. So they're kind of getting...
They're full.
Yeah. And you have all this talent going to not great equipment, and it sucks to see.
Yeah, I mean, it really does. Like, I know you like Jeffrey Earnhardt, and I'm a big Chris Buescher fan. And Chris Buescher was in the top 10 for a lot of that ROVAL. And I'm like, he needs just to be in a better car.
Well, I mean,
and
look just like...
just no seats.
Just look at Allgaier. He had a cup ride. Not great equipment.
Yeah.
He made the switch to Junior Motorsports. Contends for a championship every fucking year.
Yeah.
Or one thing that somebody pointed out that's kind of interesting. If you look at JGR, they're not doing good this year. Jones, he's gotten a win, but he kind of...
Kyle Busch
It was more luck than it was anything skill.
Yes.
Or speed. Hamlin has had nothing but bad luck all season. Suarez, he's just been kind of there. He's getting his top 5 finishes and stuff like that, but he's not winning. And he's not being...
Kyle Busch is carrying him.
Kyle Busch, who is the best driver in NASCAR, arguably, is winning races here and there, but he's not like... He's not dominating like he did last year. Like last year, JGR was scary.
He's still leading playoff points. Yeah,
it's not so much.
He still has.
Well, you got Truex
7 wins.
Penske.
Oh yeah, and
Truex isn't even doing that great either. Like he's not. I mean, he's not doing bad. He's definitely winning, but yeah, in comparison to last year, he is way down on his stats.
Yeah.
But it's just insane how drastically it's changed. It's all Ford this year, and guess what's coming next year? New body.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens.
They'll probably have the struggle like Chevy's had this year. Chevy started to come around, but there's not a whole lot of good Chevys out there. I mean, I think Chase and Kyle Larson are about the only two that consistently can get into the top 10.
And then, I mean, 2016 was a really good year for Chevy. 2017 was a really good year for Toyota. This year is a really good year for Ford. It changes every year, so we'll see what maybe Chevrolet will come up with something next year, and the year after that's gonna be Toyota again. The year after that's Ford. It could just go back and forth. So we'll see, I guess. Who knows what's gonna happen?
So to end the podcast, we're either going to do our picks for Dover, or we're going to do our picks for who's going to get eliminated in the next round, because we're trying to space these out now. We're going to do one every 3 races unless it's a really good race, which the ROVAL was. Which one do y'all want to do? Y'all want to do the who's going to get eliminated?
Sure.
I'm fine with whatever.
Okay.
Sure.
Carbon, start her
I think
off.
his headset came off.
His headset came off.
I heard
Sorry.
some sort of fumbling. So.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm here.
Who's going to get eliminated for the next round of the
I hate to
playoffs?
say it, but I honestly think that Larson's going to be one of them. I don't think he's going to be the first out, though. But he's going to get wrecked a lot. I think Amarella's going to barely make it. Bowman. And I think if I had to throw a curveball in there, just because I'm going to throw... I think I'm going to throw Logano. I think he's going to have some issues.
Okay.
I don't think any of the big 3 is going to get eliminated, though.
All right. I'm gonna say Amarella, Bowman. Who else we got in the playoffs here?
Larson,
Lots of drivers.
Chase, Blaney, Kurt Busch, Joey Logano, Boyer, Keselowski, Truex, Harvick, and Kyle Busch.
I feel like Truex is gonna get his teeth punched in a little bit here, from just after the season that he's had, and the team getting a little bit desperate due to the fact that they're shutting down this year. After the end of this year, I feel like they're gonna make some sort of stupid mistake, and it's gonna get him eliminated. Because as many points as he has like one race. What's the word I'm looking for? Buffer. Thank you. He has one race buffered where he can get fucked pretty badly and still come out okay. But we have Talladega.
Yep.
That ain't gonna go too well.
Yeah, I think out of all the big 3, Truex is definitely the one that's most likely to be knocked out.
Watch
first.
it be Kyle Busch. I hope it's Kyle Busch, but I know it ain't.
Oh, that would be awesome.
We all do.
It's not gonna happen, but that would be awesome.
Too many points ahead.
All right, so
Kyle
I
Busch is
said
47 to the good.
he has a 2 race buffer on him. So I picked, what was it, Bowman, Amarella, and Truex, and the 4th one to get kicked out. Yeah, I'm going to go with Jolo.
All right. And
Granted, there's been tradition that those who won the previous Talladega race before the playoff tends to win the playoff Talladega race, and that's been proven in the last 3 years. But, I don't know.
Amp, what you got?
So the way I see it, I don't see Bowman making it. He hasn't had a great season. He's had an okay season, but it's not a hot streak. It's just he's been there. He hasn't been. He's only led what?
He's been around.
Yeah, he's been around. He's led 65 laps this year. He really hasn't been towards the front. He's been there, but Hendrick just hasn't had it. I'm also gonna go with Joey Logano as well. The team's had speed. He's been there to contend, but the team
He's
hasn't
the
put
one
it
on the
together.
team that doesn't have it. He's the one. He's in 3rd on their team
He hasn't
for speed.
The team hasn't put it together yet for the year. Let's see. I'm gonna
I'll agree.
go with Kurt Busch. He can drive the wheels
Forgot
off the
about
damn
Kurt.
thing. He can drive the wheels off of it. But the problem is he ends up usually getting taken out.
Yeah, can
And
I
he's
change
close to the
mine
cut
from
line.
Jolo to Kurt? I forgot Kurt was in
Sure,
there.
why not?
All right, so I went with Bowman, Kurt, and Logano. The other one I don't see really making it would be Eric. As much as I'd love to see Eric Almirola make it to the next round, the team has just had really good luck and then went right to the shitter.
He has definitely proven that he deserves to be in that 10 car.
Very much. It's just, it's not the greatest right now. But it's also their first year together, so
right.
they still have room to work.
Yeah, they got some wiggle room. Yeah. They got some more years to go. And for me, I don't see Bowman making it. Like Amp said, he's just been hanging around. Almirola, he's had a couple of good races, but I can't see that being sustained. Kurt Busch, I don't think is going to do it. And the last one out is the tough one, and I think I'm going to wind up with the exact same picks as Amp and go with... man, I don't know. Hold on. Let me think about it. Yeah, Jolo. As good as he is at plate tracks, he's better at Daytona than Talladega. And Blaney's so good at plate tracks.
What are the three tracks again? I know Dover and Talladega, but what's the third track?
Dover,
Kansas?
Dega, Kansas.
Kansas.
Yeah.
Which is exactly why
And
I did
I'm
not
leaving
say Logano or
Clint Boyer.
Yeah, Kyle Busch is making it then.
Clint
Larson's
Boyer's
also been
from
good there too.
Emporia, Kansas. So, yeah.
True.
I think Kyle Larson will make it.
Yeah, I did forget about Kansas. Maybe I have to swap out Larson then. Yeah, I'm gonna swap Larson for for Kurt Busch then.
So we all got
Alright, so-
Kurt, we all got Jolo, and we all got Amarola.
I got Bowman.
And
Did
I
everybody
got
get
Bowman.
Bowman too?
Hurdon as Bowman.
I do as well.
I picked Bowman.
Okay, so we all have the
Alright,
same
so-
lineup. All right.
Yeah, there you go.
Basically,
there's your
I got Truex in there somewhere. So
Yeah, you did.
Oh,
you
yeah,
did
you
get
did have
Truex.
Truex, didn't you?
Yeah. So, yeah, those are the ones we think are going to get eliminated, and
Pretty much
don't
unanimous decision for the most part.
don't go bet $1,000 on those odds in Vegas. Trust me.
No, we'll
watch
be
one
wrong,
of those
hopefully.
fuckers wins at Talladega.
If
wouldn't
it's
complain.
any of them, except
Except for maybe Kurt
it'd
Busch.
be
Not a huge Kurt Busch fan, but
yeah. If it's any of them, it'd be Joey.
Actually, you know
Joey's
what?
a good plate track racer.
I'm going to go with the field on this one.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
that joke's long gone.
Did you guys know that 7 is the most common number rolled
fuck you.
between TB6?
Shut up. Okay, so for anybody that didn't get that joke, we're all Rooster Teeth fans, and they have a show called Hardcore Tabletop where they play Monopoly with real money, and there's one guy that just constantly saying, "Did you know 7's the most common number rolled?"
Thank you, Jack.
On a Paradise. Yeah, thanks, Jack Patillo. Anyways,
And 3 is the
I
least
guess,
common.
yeah. Has anybody got any final comments?
Oh yeah. My comment.
Was that it?
Sounds like it.
Was that it? Go, Brad.
Well,
Already
can we
pushing
wrap
it a
this
little
up
too
because
long
I
on this
gotta go
podcast
to work.
anyways.
All right. Broken Shifter Podcast. Booyah. Go, Brad.
Clint Boyer's gonna win Dover.
Go
Yoki.
Chase.